When you think of inventors whose work has changed the world, your mind might conjure up images of Thomas Edison or Nikola Tesla. But today, we're going to talk about a man who predates both of these famous inventors by a few decades and whose work laid some of the groundwork for their later innovations. This is the story of Humphry Davy, the man who lit up the world with his electric arc. Hi, and welcome to this channel. Davy was born in 1778 in Penzance, a small seaside town in Cornwall, England. His father was a poor man who died when Humphry was just 2 years old, leaving his widow to raise their 5 children on her own. From an early age, Davy showed an interest in science and the natural world, often spending his days collecting specimens from the beach and performing experiments with them. Although he had to leave school at age 10 to help support his family, Davy's curiosity never faded. He taught himself chemistry and began working as a pharmacist's assistant, which allowed him to pursue his scientific interests while making a modest income. It was around this time that Davy began experimenting with electricity, which had become a popular topic of investigation among scientists in the late 18th century. One day in 1801, while working in his makeshift laboratory, Davy decided to place 2 wires connected to a battery into a glass of water, and was shocked to see that the water began to bubble and spit. What Davy had just witnessed was the first electrical discharge in water ever recorded, which he described as a continuous and copious production of oxygen gas with a considerable quantity of ozone. Although this discovery didn't immediately have any practical applications, it did set the stage for Davy's most famous invention. You see, while working as a medical electrician, Davy discovered that by passing a current through various materials, he could make them glow. At first, these glowing materials were only able to produce faint lights, but after experimenting with different elements, Davy found that certain metals, including thorium and yttrium, could produce bright, brilliant light when electricity was passed through them. Excited by his discovery, Davy began to refine his technique, and in 1802 he was finally able to produce a bright, steady light by placing 2 carbon rods in a glass tube filled with powdered metal. When the current was turned on, one rod became positively charged and the other negatively charged, causing an electric arc to form between them. This arc produced a bright light that could be seen clearly from across the room, which Davy demonstrated by lighting up a dark room with several of these arcs. Davy quickly realized that he had invented something special and set about sharing his discovery with the world. However, his first attempts to do so were unsuccessful. In 1803, Davy gave a presentation on his electric arc to the prestigious Royal Society, but it wasn't well received by the scientific community. They dismissed his invention as a mere curiosity, and it was until Davy improved upon his design and created a safer, more practical version of the electric arc lamp that they took notice. Davy's new lamp consisted of 2 spheres made of platinum connected to a battery by wires. When the current was turned on, an electric arc formed between the 2 spheres, producing a bright light that could be used for illumination. The light produced by Davy's lamp was not only brighter than that of candles or oil lamps, but it was also much more efficient. It produced very little heat and no smoke or fumes, making it an attractive alternative to traditional lighting methods. As soon as Davy's peers realized the potential applications of his invention, they quickly changed their tune and praised him as a genius. But despite its success, Davy's lamp never really left the realm of a novelty item. That's because the materials Davy used were expensive and rare, which made his lamps cost prohibitive. Nevertheless, Davy's invention had paved the way for future inventors to develop more affordable and practical electric lighting systems. And in doing so, he had helped to usher in a new era of lighting technology that would ultimately transform the way we live and work. Although he never achieved widespread recognition during his lifetime, Davy's contributions to science are now widely acknowledged. Today, we remember him as the man who lit up the world with his electric arc. So the next time you flip on a light switch, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of Humphry Davy and the electric arc that he invented. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more videos about the amazing inventors who have shaped our world. Thanks for watching.